All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. As we are here in the Ward Center once again. And the Lady Cats won one of the 3 games in the tournament last week, as they won the first one and then lost to number 1 Dale in 2A and number 4 Lotta in 2A. So both 2A teams that they lose to there in the Bertha Teague tournament, but did good nonetheless. And the starting 5 for the Lady Cats, same as it has been all year, with number 14 Lindley Nichols, number 20 Katie Griffin, number 21 Kirsten Briggs, number 24 Tegan Hamer, and number 45 Paige Coons. Starting 5 for the Bearcats is Howard, Alears, Blackard, Scarborough, and Clem. As the Lady Cats and the Bearcats already played once this year. Lady Cats winning that one by 28, I believe, in the first matchup. But it was a close game in the first half. Lady Cats win the tip, gets it to Hamer. Hamer's layup up and in. So quick basket by the Lady Cats. As Blackard gets it across half court from Mooreland. She's getting pressed by Briggs. And now they try to get it down low. She's picked her dribble up, and that's 5 seconds. That's number 4, Alears, who picked her dribble up and couldn't get anybody open to pass it to. As Hamer skips it all the way up to Nichols, and Nichols goes up for a tough layup. No good, but she's going to go to the free throw line. 4-2. First one up and in, second one's up and in as well. And the Lady Cats jump to a 4-0 lead here early in the first quarter. As Clem trying to get it across half court, tries to go long to Alears, tipped away and stolen away, and now there's going to be a foul here on Blackard as she tried to tip the ball away from Briggs. A scoreboard may be a little bit delayed today as I've got to run it all. Got to do the computer and the scoreboard tonight. But Briggs gets it across half court, gets it to Nichols. Sorry, Nichols gets inside, has nowhere to go, but she's going to walk with it. So it's going to go back to the Lady Bearcats with 7:03 left. As Blackard lobs it up to Scarborough. She gets it back to Blackard. Now Blackard, top of the key, spin move, brings it back out, gets it to Clem. Now Clem gets a screen from Scarborough, goes inside to Alears, backdoor Clem, layup up and no good, tipped out to Blackard. Thought about the 3, decided not to. Now she's top of the key, gets a screen from Clem. Now over to Howard. Now Howard down to Clem in the mid corner. As she drives in, gets it out to Blackard. Now Blackard shoots the 3, up and in for the Bearcats as they get the score to 4-3. As Briggs gets it across half court, gets it to Griffin, back to Briggs, now to Hamer. Now to Griffin, now to Nichols. Her 3's up and it's going to get wedged in between the rim and backboard. It's just going to be a jump ball. It's going to go to the Lady Bearcats. So they're trying to get something to get the ball down. As Coach Gore goes and gets a basketball, so now the ref's going to get it down. Third time's the charm. And now the Lady Bearcats got it baseline. And the Lady Cats in their 4-court press. As Clem set to inbound. She gets it. She tries to get it in to Blackard. Stolen away by Hamer. Hamer gets it out to the wing. Goes inside to Griffin. Strong finish. Oh, up and no good. Went in and out. And now Griffin's going to the free throw line for two. First free throw up and in. Second one up and in as well. Now it's 6-3 with 6:01 left here in the first, and that's going to be a 5-second call on the baseline as the Lady Bearcats couldn't find anybody, and now the Lady Cats under the basket. Hamer going to inbound. She gets it up to Nichols. Now Nichols goes up for the shot. No good. Tipped out to Griffin. Now long mid-range by Griffin, up and in. 8-3 with 5:51 left. Almost stolen away by Hamer on the inbounds, but she stepped out of bounds. That's number 15, Chain, going to come in the ball game for Coons. That's number 15, Bailey Chain, the young freshman, getting a lot of playing time on this team. As Briggs threes up, no good off the front of the rim, rebounded by Nichols. Strong finish up and in. As Nichols is a nightmare down low with her height and athleticism. As Blackard getting doubled. Splits it, and they're going to call a foul here. I think they may get Nichols. No, they're going to get Chain on the reach in. But Clem going to inbound from the baseline for the Lady Bearcats. As Clem tries to go long, tipped out. Now Howard going to carry it as she dribbled it way above her head. So turnover by the Lady Bearcats. Really the only time they've gotten a really good look and turned it over. And now Nichols, long threes up, no good off the side of the rim, and they're going to call a foul here on Griffin. That'll be her first. Second team foul on the Lady Cats here at 5:16 left in the first. That's Clem inbounding from the baseline, gets it into Blackard. Now Blackard dribbles it left side. Now she gets doubled a half, gets it over to Clem. Her three's up. No good, short off the front of the rim. Now Griffin to Briggs, and now Briggs going to bring it up the floor. She gets it across half court, almost loses it, gets it to Hamer. Now Hamer, left wing, gets it tipped by Blackard. Blackard saves it into Briggs. Now Howard ends up with it, gets it across half court to Clem. Now Clem up top to Scarborough. She drives inside, and she's going to walk, and it's going to go back the other way. As the Lady Cats' fierce and aggressive defense really getting to the Bearcats. And that's going to be a timeout here by the Bearcats. Going to take this one with them. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. Bailey Chain inbounding from the baseline into Hamer. Now Hamer going to bring it up the floor for the Lady Cats. As she brings it across half court left side. She's going to get a screen from Briggs. Now Briggs over to Nichols for a three at the wing. Too long and tipped around, and Scarborough ends up with it one-on-one with Hamer. Hamer, good defense. And Scarborough going to walk. As Hamer, good aggressive defense there to push her back out of the paint. And now Briggs gets it across half court left side to Chain. Now Chain left wing gets it back to Briggs. Now Briggs right side to Hamer. Hamer drives in, gets it to Nichols. Now Nichols Spins back in, gets it to Hamer, thought about the three. She's going to skip it all the way across to Chain. Now Chain skips it all the way across to Nichols. Her three's up, no good. Tipped around, rebounded by the Bearcats as Clem going to get it across half court. She's working right side, gets a screen from Scarborough. Now Lear's inside, good defense by Griffin. As Griffin pass too long, and it's going to be tipped out of bounds by the Lady Cats. So it's going to stay with the Bearcats. It's a good thought there by the Lady Cats, just didn't get it in. As Clem gets it into Blackard. Now Blackard dribbles across half court right side. She gets it to Howard. Now Howard back to Blackard. Now Blackard going to drive in right side. She brings it back out to the three-point line, drives back inside, gets it out to Howard. Her three's up and in. And now Lady Cats get it across half court as Hamer going to check the three, up and no good. Saved, nope, they're going to say out of bounds by Nichols. 3:08 left here in the first quarter. Lady Cats got a 10-6 lead. As Clem gets it into Blackard. Now Blackard getting doubled. Finally picks her dribble up, tries to get it to Scarborough, stolen away by the Lady Cats. Now Hamer left side, gonna get blocked out of bounds. It's gonna stay with the Lady Cats. As Hamer gets it up top to Chain, her three's up and no good. Rebounded by Nichols, layup up and in for Nichols. Now she's been a problem down low so far. She's got a few offensive rebounds, and that's going to be another 5-second call for the Lady Bearcats. And it's going to go back to the Lady Cats. As the Lady Cats got a 12-6 lead, 2:39 left. As Chain up top to Briggs. Now Briggs drives all the way in. It's going to be a foul on the floor. It's going to be on Clem. That's going to be her second foul of the ball game. As Hamer going to inbound from the baseline once again. As number 34, Kimber Emanuel, going to check in the ball game for the Lady Cats. Now Hamer gets it into Briggs. Right side, gets it up top to Chain, now over to Nichols. She thought about the three, but she drives in, and she's going to walk, so it's going to go back to the Lady Bearcats. As Clem going to inbound from the baseline. Gets it into Scarborough. Gets it down to Clem. Now Clem layup up and no good, rebounded by Nichols. And there's going to be a foul here. And it's going to be free throws coming for the Lady Cats. As I believe Nichols going to shoot the free throws. As that was on number 4, Alears. And that's her second foul of the ball game. Now Nichols first free throw, up and in, nothing but net. Gets it back for her second free throw. And that one's up and in, makes the score 14-6. With 2:14 left. Lady Cats steal it away, that's Manuel. Now Briggs, top of the key, gets it to Chain. Chain crossover, gets it back to Briggs, down to Nichols. Nichols over to Chain, now to Hamer, her three's up. And in, rattled in. The three ball there. And that's a Chain Feed Company three-pointer. I want to thank Chain Feed for sponsoring Wildcat TV. And we're going to take this timeout with them. We'll be right back with you. Sorry, that's Chain Seed Company, not Feed Company. Sorry about that. They got it wrote on my paper wrong, so I'm going to change it real quick. But Clem tries to get it inbounded. It's going to be out of bounds on the Lady Cats. As Chain almost stole that one away. As Clem tries to go long, gets it to Howard. Now Howard gets the ball tip, but she's going to get fouled on the way up by Nichols. So 17-6 for the Lady Cats with 1:51 left. Also want to thank Sealing State Bank as they are the lineup sponsor for the girls basketball team. Sorry about that. Missed that at the beginning of the game, but I want to thank them for sponsoring Wildcat TV. As Hamer out to Chain, her three's up. Nope, long. Rebounded by Nichols again, gets it up to Briggs. Now Briggs drives all the way in. Bank shot, no good. She tries to go up again. She gets her own rebound, and she's going to get fouled on the way up. So she's going to go to the free throw line for two. First free throw up and in for Briggs. Second free throw up and no good. But Clem runs long. She gets under the basket, and she tries to get it to Scarborough. Stolen away by Nichols. Now to Hamer. Now Hamer tries to get it across half court, but she gets it tipped away by Clem. But it's going to stay with the Lady Cats. (18-7), 1:17 left in the first. Briggs gets a couple screens. Now gets it to Nichols. Left side, now to Hamer. Now to Chain. Up top to Nichols. Her mid-range pull-up, no good. Short off the front of the rim. Now Howard headed the other way. She's going to get blocked by Hamer out of bounds. That's going to stay with the Lady Bearcats. Couple of Lady Cats coming in the ball game. Number 45, Coons, and number 20, Griffin. Both check back in the ball game for the Lady Cats. Stolen away by the Lady Cats. Now Briggs, left side, down to Griffin. Her layup up and no good. Rebounded by Scarborough, and she gets tangled up with Briggs. And so that's going to be a jump ball. It's going to stay with the Lady Cats with 47 seconds left. 18-7. As Hamer going to inbound from the baseline. Gets it up to Nichols. Now to Coons. Now to Briggs. Now over to Nichols. Her three's up. No good. Long. Rebounded by Coons. But she's going to get fouled. See who the foul's on. It's going to be on number 4. Nope. Number 5, I guess. That's going to be her third foul. Thought the ref held up a number 4. Free throw up and no good. Number 21, Aliers checks in the ball game for Aliers. Now Coons, second free throw up and no good. Now Clem, right side, gets it across half court, gets it tipped away by Nichols. Now Briggs gets her dribble tipped away. But it's going to stay with the Lady Cats. Briggs going to inbound from the sideline. Gets it into Hamer. Now Hamer works right side. Now she crosses over, top of the key, gets it over to Griffin, back to Hamer. Now Hamer, 12 seconds. Gets a screen, but Hamer drives all the way down for a layup, no good. And now Blackard Half-court shot up and no good. That's going to be the end of the first quarter, 18-7. Going to take a short break. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. Lady Bearcats start with the ball as Clem gets it into Blackard. Now Blackard going to get it across half court, drives all the way down for a layup up and no good, tipped around. It's going to be off the Lady Cats. So it's going to stay with the Bearcats under the basket. Scarborough going to inbound from the baseline. She tries to get it up top to Blackard, stolen away by Nichols. Now Nichols inside to Hamer, and Hamer's shot blocked out of bounds. And now Hamer going to inbound from the baseline. She gets it, tries to get it into Nichols. Now Manuel going to try to save it. And it's going to go out of bounds off the Lady Cats, so it'll go to the Bearcats as Clem gets it into Blackard. Now Blackard, right side, double team, stolen away by Chain. Layup up and in for Chain. Lady Bearcats inbound fast to Howard. Now Howard, double team, tries to get it to Clem. Now Clem, double team, gets it to Howard, right side. Now to Scarborough, layup no good, rebounded by Manuel, now to Hamer. Now Hamer slows it down. She's working right side, gets it to Chain. Now Chain up top to Briggs. Now Briggs right side, gets it to Hamer in the corner. Now Hamer, top of the key. She's going to drive in, gets it to Briggs, right wing. Now Chain drives in, but she's going to walk. So it's going to go back to the Lady Bearcats. 20-7 ball game, 6:54 left in the first half. Now Clem to Howard. Howard back to Clem, now to Blackard. Now Blackard. Right wing. She gets it to Scarborough. Now she picks her dribble up, back up to Blackard, top of the key. Now Blackard drives left side, gets it to Howard. Howard back to Blackard. Now Blackard, top of the key. Now drives right side, gets it to Scarborough. And now Lears, layup up and in. And a foul. She gets it for a free throw. It's up and in, crawled over the front of the rim. As Briggs gets it into Hamer. Now Hamer going to drive all the way in. Tries to get it to Manuel. And now it's going to be a tie up on the ground. Going to stay with the Lady Cats. As Griffin and Coons check back in the ball game for the Lady Cats. And Hamer up top to Briggs, now to Nichols. Now over to Hamer, her three's up. No good, long. Clem with the rebound. Skips it over to Scarborough. Now Howard in the corner, long. Rebounded by Hamer. Now Hamer, Left side, skips it all the way up to Griffin. Good pass, layup up and in for Griffin. As Hamer skipped it right over Blackard's head. And Griffin with the finish. Now Clem into Scarborough. Now to Clem. Now down low to Alears, tipped away by Coons. Now layup up and no good. Rebounded by Nichols. Now to Hamer, now to Griffin, sorry. Her three's up, no good. And it's going to be an over-the-back foul here by Coons. That'll be her first foul of the ball game. Second team foul on the Lady Cats here in the second with 5:13 left. As Clem inbounding, trying to find someone to get it to, and that's going to be another 5-second on the Bearcats. And Hamer going to inbound from the baseline. Now Briggs, backside layup up and in. And she's going to go to the free throw line for an old-fashioned three. As Briggs free throw, up and in, nothing but net. 25-10, 5:10 left here in the second. As Blackard gets it across half court. Now Scarborough picks her dribble up, needs somewhere to go with it. She can't find anywhere. Finally gets it to Alears. Now Alears back to Blackard. Now Blackard, top of the key, gets it to Scarborough. She dribbles it off her foot. Now Blackard thought about the three, gives it to Clem. Now Clem, top of the key, gonna get a screen from Howard. Now Alears backdoor. Layup up and no good, tipped around. Scarborough throws it out to Blackard. Now Blackard over to Clem right side. Now Clem gets a screen, gets it tipped away. Now Howard right side, gets it to Clem. Now Clem three's up and in. Now Hamer into Briggs. Now Briggs gets it across left side. She loses it, gets it to Griffin, but there's going to be a foul here on Clem. She's going to pick up her third of the game. Second team foul on the Lady Bearcats. As Manuel and Chain check back in the ball game for the Lady Cats as Briggs gets it into Hamer. Now Hamer working right side, gets it out to Chain. Now Chain drives all the way in for a layup up and in. As Chain ran around and nobody followed her. Now Blackard gets doubled, gets it to Clem. Now Clem to Howard. Now Howard back to Clem. Now Clem up top to Blackard. Her three's up. Banked in off the glass. Now Hamer gets across half court. Right side gets it to Chain. Now Chain to Briggs. And there's going to be a foul here on Howard. Be her second. Third team foul on the Lady Bearcats here in the second quarter with 3:17 left. As Hamer going to inbound. Gets it to a wide open Nichols. Down low, layup up and in, and a foul. Scarborough going to pick up her first foul. And now Nichols going to go to the free throw line for a chance at an old-fashioned three. Her free throw up and rattled in. She hit the front of the rim, bounced over. And she's leading the team with 11 points tonight. Now Blackard, double team, picture dribble up, gets it to Howard. Now Howard over to Clem, her mid-range. Up and no good, long. Gonna go out of bounds off of the Lady Cats. So Scarborough gonna inbound from the baseline. Gets it into Clem. Now Clem Gets it to Blackard, but she's going to walk with it, so it's going to go back the other way. As Hamer gets it into Briggs. Now Briggs, left side, gets it across half court. She crosses over, deep three. Up and no good, but rebounded by Nichols. That's her layup up and no good. And now Scarborough gets it across half court, and she's going to drive all the way in. Ball tipped away. And it's going to stay with the Bearcats. Now Scarborough needs somewhere to go with it. Gets it up to Alears, and now Alears tied up. It's going to stay with the Lady Bearcats. Clem going to inbound from the sideline. They get it into Blackard. Now Blackard gets it across half court. And we're going to call a foul here on Chain. Be her second foul, third team foul on the Lady Cats. Here in the second, 2:25 left. As Blackard going to get it across half court. Now she gets it to Scarborough right side, now to Alears. And now Alears hands off to Blackard. Now Blackard to Scarborough. Now Scarborough to Alears. Now Alears to Blackard. Now Blackard trying to find somewhere at top of the key. Gets it to Howard. Now Howard over to Alears. Now to Clem. Now Clem. Inside to Howard. Out to Alears. Her mid-range and up and no good. Rebounded by Howard. But she's going to foul Nichols. So Nichols going to go to the free throw line for 2. With 1:37 left, Lady Cats got a 30-16 lead. That was Nichols' first free throw. Up and in, nothing but net. Gets it back for her second free throw, and that one's up, nothing but net. Nichols doubles the Lady Cats. As now Howard gets it to, stolen away by Hamer. Now Hamer drives all the way in. Nobody even picked her up, and she's going to get a driving layup there. Now it's 34-16. Finally get it into Scarborough. Now Scarborough to Howard. Now Howard over to Alears and couldn't handle the pass to go back the other way. Briggs gets it into Hamer. Now Hamer going to get it across half court for the Lady Cats. Tries to get it to Nichols, tipped away by Blackard. As Coons and Griffin going to check back in the ball game for the Lady Cats. As Hamer going to inbound. Gets it into Nichols. Now Nichols, right side, top of the key. Now gets it to Briggs. Now Briggs, left side spin move, layup up and no good. Strong, rebounded by Coons. Back out to Nichols. Her three's up and in. Nothing but net. She hits the Chain C Company 3 ball. Now 45 seconds left in the first half as Howard down to Alears. Now Alears layup no good. Rebounded by Coons. Now to Briggs. Now Briggs left side. Gets it to Griffin. Now up top to Hamer. Her three's up. No good. And Clem going to inbound from the baseline for the Bearcats. Now Blackard going to bring it up the floor. She gets it across half court. She gets it to Howard. Now Howard gets it to Clem. Now Clem to Blackard. Now Blackard drives in, back out to Alears. Back up top to Blackard and blocked by Nichols for the three. As Blackard tried to step back, but Nichols got all of it. And it's going to be 37-16 here at halftime. Going to take a short break. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. The second half action about to start as the Lady Cats got a 37-16 lead over the Mooreland Lady Bearcats. As the Lady Cats take the floor, starting five going to be in. And the Lady Cats will start with the ball here in the second. As Briggs going to inbound from the sideline for the Lady Cats. She gets it into Hamer, and now Hamer going to take it to the left side. She going to get a screen from Coons. She drives all the way in, layup no good. Rebounded by Blackard, and now she's headed the other way. Now she gets it to Scarborough. And now she gets it to Howard. Now Howard picks her dribble up, gets it to Clem. Now Clem runs around a couple screens. Drives inside, layup no good. Rebounded by Briggs, and now Briggs throws it deep to Nichols. Now Nichols, layup no good. It's going to go out of bounds off of Blackard. It's going to stay with the Lady Cats. As Hamer going to inbound from the baseline. Gets it up top to Briggs, now to Nichols, and now Nichols over to Hamer. Now Hamer back to Nichols, and now Nichols drives in, gets it back out to Hamer. Back to Nichols. Now Nichols going to drive all the way in, tries to get it to Coons. And now Griffin ends up with it, gets it to Briggs. Dribble pull up for Briggs, up and in. Number 12, Scarborough. Injured somewhere in there. So 00. Schnobelin. I'm not sure how to say that name. He's going to check back in the ball game, or going to check in the ball game, sorry, for Scarborough. Now Clem gets it inbounded to Blackard. Now Blackard gets doubled. She finally gets it across half court. She's going to go all the way down, layup no good, but it's going to be a foul on the floor on Griffin. That'll be her second foul. First team foul on the Lady Cats here in the second half. 6:45 left. As the Lady Bearcats got to have somebody inbound the ball. They get it into Blackard. Now over to Schnobelin. Now to Clem. Now Clem inside to Alears. And it's going to be a foul here on Nichols. It's going to be her second foul, and Alears is going to go to the free throw line for two. First free throw is going to be up and in. (39-17), 6:35 left in the third. So her second free throw's up and no good. Rebounded by Nichols. Now Nichols to Hamer. Now Hamer to Briggs. Her three's up. No good. Going to get tangled up, and it's going to stay with the Lady Bearcats. As Clem going to inbound from the baseline. She gets it into Blackard. Now Blackard. Over to Howard. Now Howard over to Schnobelin. Now to Blackard. Blackard over to Schnobelin, and she's going to double dribble, so it's going to go back to the Lady Cats after the turnover. And now Hamer gets it into Briggs, and now Briggs going to get it across half court. Now she drives, gets it to Griffin. Now Griffin to Hamer. Now Hamer going to drive left side, brings it back out, gets it to Griffin. Now to Nichols, and now Nichols layup, no good. Rebounded by Clem. Now Clem to Alears. Tipped away, back to Clem. Now Clem out to Howard, up to Schnoblin, now to Blackard. Now Blackard, top of the key. Drives right side. Gets it to Clem in the corner. Now she drives baseline, gets blocked by Griffin. Scarborough going to check back in the ball game for the Lady Bearcats. And the Lady Bearcats going to inbound from the baseline. Scarborough gets it into Alears, mid-range jumper up and in. Briggs into Hamer. Now Hamer gets it across half court, left side. She's going to drive all the way for a layup. No good, but she's going to get fouled on the way up. It's going to be Blackard. It's going to be her fourth of the ball game. 5:08 left in the third quarter. Now Hamer's first free throw up and in. Second free throw is up and in as well. Now Clem pass tipped by Hamer out of bounds. Now Clem going to get it on the baseline once again. Now Blackard. Right side gets doubled. Stolen away by Briggs. Now Hamer. Layup up and in. Now Clem gets it inbounded to Howard, and now Howard gets doubled. Pass tipped away, stolen away by Hamer. Tries to get it to Nichols. Thrown away. So Clem going to get it back on the baseline for the Lady Bearcats. She needs somewhere to go with it. Finally gets it into Blackard. Now Blackard skips it all the way across to Clem, now to Scarborough. She gets it inside to Alears, and now Alears gets fouled on the way up. So she's going to go to the free throw line for two. As Briggs picks up her second foul of the ball game. Third team foul on the Lady Cats here in the third with 4:29 left. First free throw up and in. As Chain and Manuel going to check in the ball game for the Lady Cats. Alears' second free throw, up and in. Now Briggs going to bring it up the floor for the Lady Cats. So she gets it across, gets it to Nichols, and now Nichols drives all the way in, gets it to Chain. Her three's up. No good. Rebounded by Alears. Now Alears gets the pass tipped away. Gets it to Clem. Now inside to Alears. Her layup up and in. And now Briggs into Hamer. Now Hamer gets it across half court. She gets it to Chain in the corner. Now Chain brings it all the way across, gets it to Nichols. And now Briggs back to Chain. Now to Nichols, back to Briggs. Briggs to Chain. Now Chain, top of the key. Gets it to Nichols, and now Nichols drives all the way in. Floater up and no good. Rebounded by Scarborough. Gets it to Blackard. Now Blackard gets it to Clem, and now Clem inside to Alears. Layup no good. Rebounded by Manuel, and now Hamer tries to skip it up to Chain. Stolen away by Blackard. Now Blackard drives all the way in. Layup no good. Rebounded by Briggs. Now Briggs going to bring it up the floor. Now Briggs drives all the way in for a layup, up and in. Count the layup. And she's going to go to the free throw line. And that's going to be on number 4, Alears. That's her third of the ball game. As Briggs, free throw up and in. There's going to be a full timeout here, I think. So we're going to take this one with them. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. Clem going to inbound from the baseline coming out of the timeout. Throws it long to Howard, and layup no good, but she's going to get fouled on the way up. So she's going to go to the free throw line for 2. Howard gets it for her first free throw, spins it, takes a couple dribbles, it's up, crawled in over the front of the rim. Gets it back for her second free throw. That one's up and in. Now Briggs into Hamer. Now Hamer going to get it across half court. And she drives in, gets it to Chain. Now Chain drives, gets it to Briggs. Now Briggs back out to Chain, top of the key, gets it over to Nichols. Now Nichols going to drive in, gets Manuel wide open on the block, up and in for Manuel. That's a good look by Nichols inside. Now Clem gets it into Blackard. Now Blackard gets doubled, tries to get it to Clem, and it's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be off of the Lady Cats, so stay with Mooreland as Clem going to inbound. She gets it into Blackard. Now Blackard gets it across half court, stolen away by Briggs. Now Briggs, layup up and in on the other end. (50-25) with 1:59 left, and now Howard off to the races again. Blocked by Nichols. Oh, they're going to call a foul on it, though. But Nichols came out of nowhere. That'll be her third foul. 5th team foul on the Lady Cats with 1:53 left. Now Howard first free throw, up and in. Howard's second free throw up and in as well. Now Nichols into Hamer. Now Hamer going to bring it up the floor. She gets it across half court. And now she's going to take a three. No good. A foul on Coons. So it'll be a push off. Now Alear is going to go to the free throw line for 2. 1:45 left here in the third. The Lady Cats got a 50-27 lead over Mooreland. Free throw. Up and no good. Gets it back for our second one. And that one's up and in. That's Nichols into Hamer. Now Hamer going to get it across half court right side. She's top of the key. She drives in, gets it over to Nichols. Thought about the three. She's going to take a pull up. Up and no good, but fouled on the way up. Scarborough gets her second foul of the ball game. Third team foul on the Lady Bearcats here in the third with 1:33 left. Nichols' first free throws up and in. She gets it back for her second free throw. And that one's up. No good off the front of the rim. Now Lears to Clem. Now Clem double team, gets it to Blackard. Now Blackard. And that's going to be a 10-second call. And it's going to go back to the Lady Cats as Briggs going to inbound from the sideline. And gets it into Hamer. Now Hamer going to get it across half court. Takes it right side, gets it to Griffin. Now Griffin to Briggs. Now Briggs drives in, gets it to Griffin. Now Griffin drives all the way for a layup. No good. Tipped out. Now Nichols. And they're going to call an offensive foul. Oh, no, they're going to call a blocking foul on Scarborough. That'll be her third. For a team foul on the Lady Bearcats. As Hamer gets it up top to Griffin, now to Briggs. Now Briggs to Nichols, out to Griffin. Her three's up. No good. Tipped around. And they're going to call a foul here on Coons. So Scarborough going to go to the free throw line for two as Coons picks up her third foul. And Scarborough going to go to the free throw line for two. First free throw up and no good. Gets it for her second free throw, takes a couple dribbles, and that one's up. No good. And it's going to go back to the Lady Cats. As Hamer going to bring it across half court, right side. She gets it to Nichols, and now Nichols gets it to Hamer. Now Hamer drives, gets it to Griffin. Now Griffin gets it to Briggs. Now Briggs about half court. She brings it back out, gets it to Griffin, and now Griffin. Handoff to Nichols, and now Nichols. From the Wildcat logo, gets it to Briggs. Now Briggs, left side. Gets it back to half court. Now to Nichols, and now 10 seconds. Now Nichols going to drive all the way in, hits Griffin, and now Griffin inside, but going to get a double or a travel here. And now 2.4 seconds left, and Lady Bearcats going to inbound from the baseline. And layup up and no good for Howard. That's going to be the end of the third quarter. Going to take a short break. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. Briggs going to inbound from the sideline for the Lady Cats. She gets it into Hamer. Now Hamer brings it across half court, left side, gets a screen from Manuel. And now to Chain in the corner. Now up top to Briggs. Now Chain over to Nichols. Now Nichols to Briggs. Now Briggs layup up and in. on the left side is Clem. Gonna get it inbound to Blackard. Now Blackard to Clem. Now Clem inside to Alears. Pass too hot. Gonna go back to the Lady Cats. As Briggs into Hamer. Now Hamer gets it across half court. And they're gonna call an offensive foul on Manuel on the screen. Now Clem gonna inbound from the baseline for the Lady Bearcats. Gets it into Alears, and now Howard. Inside to Scarborough. Now to Alears. Layup up and in. And the foul on Manuel. It's going to be her second foul of the ball game. And now Alears at the free throw line for her free throw. Takes a couple dribbles, and it's up. And no good. Rebounded by Briggs. And now Briggs going to bring it up the floor for the Lady Cats. Gets it across half court. Gets it to Hamer. Now Hamer to Nichols. Now Nichols over to Briggs. Now Briggs drives all the way in. I'm going to get fouled on the way up. It's going to be on number 2, Howard. That's going to be her fourth. And now Briggs at the free throw line for 2. Takes a couple dribbles. That's up and in. She gets it back for her second free throw. And that one's up and in. 55-30 with 6:57 left here in the ball game. Now Scarborough over to Alears. Now Alears tries to get it into Howard. And it's on the floor. And Hamer going to get it tied up. So it's going to go back to the Bearcats. And Clem going to inbound from the baseline. Gets it into Alears. Now Alears to Howard. Now Howard. Crossover, gets it across half court. Gets it in the corner to Clem, and now her three's up and rattled in. Now Chain into Briggs, and now Briggs gets it across half court. She drives in, gets it out to Nichols. Her three's up. No good. Tipped out of bounds off of the Lady Bearcats, so it's going to stay with the Lady Cats as Griffin going to check in the ball game for Manuel. Hamer going to inbound from the baseline. Gets it into Chain, now to Briggs. And now Briggs drives in, back out to Chain. Now over to Hamer. Now Hamer drives in all the way down. Gets it out to Nichols, and now Nichols drives in. Pull up and in. She's got 19 on the night. Lady Cats 57-34 lead. And now Blackard across half court, gets it tipped away. And Nichols going to get fouled by Alears here, so that's going to be her fourth. And Hamer going to inbound from the baseline into Briggs. Now Briggs gets it across half court, right side, and she drives in, gets it to Nichols. Thought about the three. Backs down, gets it back out to Briggs. Now Briggs over to Chain, her three's up. No good, rebounded by Griffin, now out to Hamer. Now Hamer drives, layup up and no good, tipped, and Alears ends up with it. Now Blackard gets it across half court. Gets it over to Howard, her three's up. No good, rebounded by Briggs. Now Briggs tries to get it to Griffin. Thrown away, so it's going to go back to the Lady Bearcats. As Clem going to inbound from the baseline. Now Blackard, right side. Goes back left. Gets doubled. Gets it to Clem, and now Clem drives all the way in, layup up and in, and they're going to call a foul on Griffin. So Griffin picks up her third of the ball game. As Clem gets it for her free throw, takes a couple dribbles, spins it, it's up and in. And now Nichols into Briggs, and now Briggs crosses over, gets it to Chain. Now Chain back up top to Hamer, now to Nichols. Now Nichols over to Chain. Now Chain going to drive all the way in. They're going to call a foul on Clem. That'll be her fourth. Third team foul on the Lady Cats. Or Lady Bearcats, sorry. And now Chain at the free throw line for two. First one's up and in. Gets it for her second one. Couple dribbles, and that one's up and in. As Clem gets it into Howard, back to Clem, and now Clem gets it across half court. Now she drives right side, gets it to Alears, layup up and in for Alears. And now Nichols into Hamer. Now Hamer crosses over, gets it to Chain. Now Chain to Briggs, now to Hamer. Now Hamer drives, layup up, no good, rebounded by Blackard. Now to Howard. Now Howard back to Blackard. Now Blackard gets it to Howard. Inside to Alears. Back out to Clem. Now down to Scarborough. Her layup up no good. Rebounded by Hamer. Now Hamer going to get it across half court for the Lady Cats. Skips it up to Nichols. Now Nichols. Layup up no good. Tipped around. Saved by Griffin. And it goes out of bounds. It's going to go back to the Lady Bearcats. And now Blackard going to bring it up the floor for the Lady Bearcats. As she gets it across half court. Gets it to Scarborough. Now she gets it inside to Alears. Layup up and in for Alears. And now Hamer into Briggs. And now Briggs going to bring it up the floor. She gets it across half court. Back out to Hamer. Now Hamer drives. Layup no good, strong. And now Scarborough gets it to Blackard. Now Blackard drives in. Layup no good, blocked by Nichols. Now Nichols gonna bring it up the floor. As she gets it across, gets the layup to go. Good finish there by Nichols inside. 2:45 left. Lady Cats got a 21-point lead, 61-40. Clem tries to get it inside, tipped away by Griffin. And now Nichols over to Chain. Now Chain tries to get it to Briggs. Tipped out of bounds by the Lady Bearcats. That's going to go back to the Lady Cats. As Hamer are going to inbound from the baseline. For the Lady Cats. Now she's going to get it into Briggs. Now Briggs up top to Chain. Back to Briggs. Now Briggs, top of the key. Going to drive all the way in. Layup no good. She's going to get fouled on the way up. It's going to be on Howard. That's going to be her fifth foul of the ball game. So she's going to foul out of this one with 2:19 left. And now Briggs going to shoot a couple free throws here. First free throw up and in for Briggs. Gets it back for her second free throw. Takes a couple dribbles, and that one's up and in. Scarborough gets it into Blackard. Now Blackard going to bring it up the floor for the Lady Bearcats as she gets it across half court. She's left side, gets it to Scarborough up top. Now Lear is down low and layup up and in. They're going to call a foul on Griffin. It'll be her fourth. Now Lear is going to get it for her one and only free throw. She's going to take a couple dribbles. And it's up. No good. It's going to be out of bounds off of the Lady Cats, so to go back to Mooreland. Now Lear's in the corner. Picture dribble up. Finally gets it to Schnoblin, and that's going to be tipped out of bounds. It's going to stay with Lady Bearcats as a start. A new 5 comes in the ball game for the Lady Cats. Number 4, Kaysen Newman. Number 5, Kirsten Unwin. Number 32, Cameron Little Coyote. Number 33, Emma Smart. And number 35, Avery Burton, going to check in the ball game for the Lady Cats. With 1:49 left as the Lady Bearcats get it inbounded. Double dribble by the Lady Bearcats. And now Unwin into Little Coyote. Now Little Coyote going to get it across half court. Gets it back to Unwin. Now Unwin to Newman. Now Newman to Little Coyote. Now Little Coyote to Unwin. Now Unwin back to Newman. Now to Little Coyote. Her three's up and in. Nothing but net. She hits the chain Seed Company 3 ball. Makes the score 66-42. Pass little too high for Mooreland. And now it goes back to Lady Cats, and now Unwin gets it across half court. She hands off to Burton. Now Burton drives in, back to Unwin, thought about the 3, gets it to Little Coyote. Now Little Coyote to Newman. Now Newman to Unwin. Now Unwin to Little Coyote. 3's up again, too strong. Burton with the rebound, and she's going to get fouled on the floor. But it'll be the 5th foul, so there'll be some free throws coming for Burton. Takes a couple dribbles. Her free throws up and no good. And now Smart checks in the ball game for Little Coyote. Now Burton, second free throw, no good. Bounced around, and it's going to go to Mooreland. Mooreland going to drive it inside. Back out to the right wing, now to Bud's left wing. Her mid-range shot, up no good. Rebounded by Mooreland, back over to number 24. And that one's up and no good. And now Smart gets the rebound, but she's going to step out of bounds. It's going to go back to Mooreland. As Little Coyote going to check in the ball game for Coons. And foul here on Unwin. With 21 seconds left in the 4th. Her first free throw's up and no good. too strong. She gets it back for her second free throw, spins it, takes a dribble, and that one's up. No good. Short is rebounded by Mooreland. Now Mooreland in the corner. Gonna dribble it inside. Layup, no good. And it's gonna stay with Mooreland with 8.2 seconds left. 24 gonna inbound, gets it into 0-0. Now 24, her three's up. No good, short. 14 with the rebound, gets it to 0-0. Now inside to 24, layup no good, and that's gonna be the end of the ball game. 66-42, the ending. And the Lady Cats, coming off a couple losses, get the job done. And I'm going to take a short break here before the boys' game, and I will see you guys in a few. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. As the Wildcats and the Mooreland Bearcats about to play here in Sealing. As it was a close game between the two last matchup, but Mooreland ended up winning that one in a close game. But the Wildcats were without two starters in that ball game that they get back tonight. And number 15, Blake Chain, and number 30, Jason Baker. Kelson Shook led the scoring for the Wildcats in that ball game. Starting lineup for the Bearcats is number 1, Cummings, number 3, Krotz, number 5, Orton, and number 10, Van Zee, and number 30, Overton.
And number 30, Blaze Orton. For your Sealing Wildcats, starting tonight, we have number 0, a sophomore.
And now the Wildcats starting lineup, number 0, Andrew Rivas. This lineup brought to you by Allen Ellis Construction. And number 10, Kelson Shook. Number 15, Blake Chain. Number 24, Kason Whetstone. And number 30, Jason Baker. As the Wildcats last go around were way outmatched in the height. But with Chain and Baker coming back, they got a lot more height coming to the table. As Whetstone still going to jump for the Wildcats. And Bearcats going to win the jump. Layup no good by Overton, but rebounded by number 10, Van Zee. His three's up, no good long. Going to be out of bounds off of Shook. So it'll stay with Mooreland. Number 5, Orton, going to inbound. Tries to get it to number 3, Krotz in the corner. Tipped out of bounds by Whetstone. Now they get it inbound to Overton in the corner. Back to Krotz, and now his three's up. No good. Rebounded by Chain. Now to Rivas. Now Rivas gets it to Whetstone. Back to Rivas. Now Rivas skips it across to Shook. Thought about the three. Decided not to. Picked his dribble up. Needs to get somewhere. Tries to go inside to Chain. Stolen away by the Bearcats. As they get it to Krotz up the left wing. Now Overton in the corner. Now up top to Cummings. Back to Overton. Now Overton drives inside. Out to Orton. Now in the corner to Overton. Now up top to Van Zee. Now over to Krotz. Now Cummings three. No good. Tipped out to Van Zee. Now to Orton. Now to Overton. Now to Van Zee. Now to Orton. Now to Cummings. Now to Krotz. Now Krotz, bottom of the logo. Over to 10, Van Zee. Now to Overton. Now Overton, layup, up no good, strong. Rebounded by Chain. Now Chain to Rivas. Now Rivas to Whetstone, back to Rivas. Now Rivas drives all the way in. Layup no good, blocked by the rim. Now Overton gonna get into a tie-up with Rivas. That's number 3. Hold on, let me find my roster. I can't remember who number 3 is. He just moved in this year. Cole Collins. He just checked in the ball game for the Wildcats. Rivas, layup, no good. Tipped around. Ends up with Krotz. Now Krotz Gonna get it across half court. Now to Overton. Now Overton to Krotz in the corner. Now Krotz picks his dribble up. Now to Overton. Layup, no good. Tipped around, and it's going to go out of bounds off of Mooreland, so it'll go back to the Wildcats. And now Baker into Rivas, and now Rivas going to bring it up the floor for the Wildcats. Gets it over to Whetstone, back up to Rivas. Now Rivas gets the ball tipped. And Baker going to get called for the 3 seconds in the lane. Still scoreless here with 5:42 left in the first quarter. As Mooreland gets it across half court. Now Krotz in the corner. Now to Overton. Overton down low, fadeaway, up and in. So Mooreland takes the lead 2-0 here in the first. Now Rivas 3, up and in as he hits the Combs feed and seed. 3 ball. Push the Wildcats up on top, 3-2. Now, number 5, Orton gets it tipped away, and Rivas headed the other way. Layup up, no good. Rebounded by Chain. His layup up and in. Good job by Chain and Whetstone, both to follow and get the rebound. And so it's going to be 5-2 Wildcats up on top. Going to take this timeout with them. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV, coming out of the timeout. And Mooreland with the ball. It's going to be Krotz into Van Zee. Now Van Zee over to Krotz. Now into the corner to Cummings. Now to 22, who checked in the ball game, DeWald, and now Cummings going to dribble it out of bounds, and that's going to be another turnover for Mooreland, and Baker going to inbound to Rivas. And now he's going to bring it the other way, gets it to Whetstone, back to Rivas. Thought about the 3. He drives in, gets it to Whetstone, up top to Baker, now over to Chain, back up top to Rivas. Now Rivas going to set up the offense, gets it to Chain, back to Rivas, bottom of the logo. And now to Whetstone, back to Rivas. Back to Chain. Now Chain to Rivas. Back to Chain, now to Whetstone. Now Whetstone to Rivas, and now he's going to drive all the way in. Layup no good, strong. Rebounded by Rivas, layup no good. Now Overton to Van Zee. Van Zee inside, no good. Gets his own rebound, but it's going to be off his foot, so it's going to go back to the Wildcats. Baker going to inbound from the baseline, gets it into Rivas, and now Rivas to Whetstone in the corner. Now Rivas over to Baker, now to Chain. Now Chain gets it to Whetstone, back to Chain, now over to Rivas. Rivas goes inside, tipped away, but Baker gets it down low, blocked by Cummings, and now Krotz to Overton. Now Overton up to Van Zee. Picks his dribble up. Gets it to Overton in the corner, but it's going to be out of bounds off of the Bearcats. So Baker going to inbound from the sideline, gets it into Rivas. Now Rivas going to get it across half court for the Wildcats, gets it to Chain. Chain back to Rivas, back to Chain, back to Rivas. Now Rivas to Collins, and it's going to be thrown away. Now Krotz headed the other way, gets it to Van Zee on the wing. Now up top to Cummings. His deep three's up. No good, short off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Baker to Chain, now to Rivas. Now Rivas going to get it across half court. He gets it to Whetstone. Whetstone drives in, back to Rivas. Rivas drives in, blocked. And it's going to go back to Mooreland, and now Overton over to Van Zee. Now Van Zee in the corner, and he's going to travel, so it's going to go back to the Wildcats. Shook going to check in the ball game for Collins. Now Baker into Rivas, and now Rivas going to bring it up the floor for the Wildcats. As he gets it across half court, 2:12 left in the first. Now Whetstone skips it across to Rivas. Now Rivas to Shook. Now Shook to Baker to Rivas. His three's up. No good, long. And foul on Baker. So it's going to be the first foul of the ball game. 1:56 left in the first quarter. Wildcats got a 5-2 lead. As Overton gets it into Van Zee, now over to Krotz. Pass tipped. Now Baker headed the other way. Or not Baker, sorry, Chain. Now Shook in the corner, thought about the three, gives it back to Chain. Now Chain brings it all the way across to Rivas, and now Chain going to drive in, but he's going to travel on the way. So it's going to go back to Mooreland with 1:32 left here in the first quarter. And now another steal, almost another steal for Whetstone. As Whetstone got his hand in on that one, just couldn't quite come down with it. And now Van Zee, bottom of the logo, gets it to DeWald. Now DeWald picks his dribble up, gets it inside to Cummings. Now Cummings out to Krotz. And now Krotz to Rivas, and now Rivas gets it across half court. He drives all the way in. Little floater off the front, no good. Rebounded by Chain, layup, no good, but he gets fouled on the way up. So he's going to get 2 free throws. As Overton going to pick up his first foul in the ball game. And now Chain at the free throw line for 2. Gets it for his first free throw. First one's up. Crawled in over the front of the rim. Now 33. Persons. Sorry. And they're going to call a foul here on Kelson Shook. Be second team foul on the Wildcats with 51 seconds left. 6-2. Wildcats on top. Now Van Zee back to Krotz. Now Krotz to Van Zee. Now Van Zee over to DeWald inside to Overton. Layup up and in. Cuts the lead to 2. Now Rivas going to walk it up the floor for the Wildcats. He gets it over to Whetstone, now to Rivas, now to Baker, and now to Shook. And now Shook, layup, too strong. But rebounded by Chain, and his layup is a little bit too strong, but he's going to get fouled on the way up. And Krotz going to be guilty on that one, so he's going to go to the free throw line for 2, as his first one's no good off the front of the rim. Second one's up and in for Chain. 7-4 with 17.9 seconds left. Overton skips it across to Krotz. Now Krotz gets double teamed. Gets it to Overton. Now Overton, layup, up and in. Now Baker into Chain. Now Chain gonna shoot a half-court shot and almost laid in by Westone. Just couldn't quite handle the ball there, but it's gonna be 7-6 after one. Gonna take a short break. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to second quarter action. Second quarter, Mooreland will start with the ball. Wildcats up 7-6. Starting 5 in for the Wildcats. As Overton gets it into Van Zee. Now Van Zee back to Overton. Now inside to Crotch, down low to Persons. His layup up and in. Now Rivas over to Baker, now to Shook. Now Shook into Rivas. And now Rivas gonna walk with it, so he's gonna go back the other way. Eight to 7, Mooreland on top. Start of the second quarter. And there's going to be a foul here as Van Zee tried to drive in. They're going to get Shook, so that's going to be his second foul of the ball game. DeWald going to inbound from the baseline, gets it into Overton. Now Overton over to Crotz. His three's up and in. Now Baker into Rivas, and now Rivas gets it across half court. He gets it over to Baker, now to Shook. Now Shook to Chain, skips it all the way across to Rivas. His three's up and in as he hits the Combs Feed and C3 ball to make the game back to 1 point. With 6:54 left in the second as Overton going to drive in. Skips it across to Van Zee. Now over to DeWald. Now inside to Persons. Persons, layup, no good. Going to be off of Mooreland, so it's going to go back to the Wildcats. Good defense there by the Wildcats down low. As Chain and Baker making a difference down low on defense. As now Rivas into Baker, back to Rivas, now to Whetstone, to Rivas. Now Rivas drives, gets it to Shook. Now Shook inside to Whetstone. His little floater up and in. It's nice to see him getting Whetstone the ball inside as he's a really athletic, tall kid, just a freshman. Now Persons down low. Layup up and in, and he's going to get fouled on the way up by Baker. Now Baker going to get it in from the baseline, gets it into Rivas, and now Rivas gets it across half court. He gets it to Whetstone, back to Rivas, now to Chain over to Shook. Now Shook drives in out to Rivas. His three's up. No good. Not sure what they called. I couldn't tell, but it's going to go back to Mooreland with 5:54 left here in the second. Mooreland on top, 14-12 as Van Zee over to DeWald in the corner, into Parsons, tipped away by Chain. inside, and now Shook goes coast to coast. Layup up and in. Count it, and he's going to go to the free throw line for an extra. As Chain tipped it to Shook, and he turned on the Jets and took it coast to coast. As number 23, Warman, and number 14, Hunter checking the ball game. Warman, first time on the court for him as well, as he was out with Baker and Chain. And free throw no good, rebounded by Whetstone over to Warman. His three's up. No good, tipped around, rebounded by Van Zee. Now Van Zee headed the other way. Gets it into DeWald, back out to Van Zee. Now Van Zee, inside to DeWald. His mid-range jumper, no good, but it's rebounded by Parsons. Back out to DeWald, now to Van Zee. Now Van Zee back to DeWald. Up top to Van Zee. Now Van Zee crosses over, he drives in. Gets it to Parsons. Now Parsons drives. Layup, no good, rebounded by Hunter. Now to Rivas, and now Rivas going to get it across half court for the Wildcats, as he's going to drive all the way in. Loses the ball inside, and now it's Cummings headed the other way. Layup, up no good, rebounded by DeWald. Now Parsons up to Overton. Now Overton going to get fouled on the floor. It's going to be on Shook. That's going to be his third foul. 4:41 left here in the first half. As Chain going to check in the ball game for Shook. Tie ball game, 14-14 with 4:40 left here in the first half, as Van Zee gets it in the corner to Overton, inside to Cummings. In mid-range, no good. Rebounded by Rivas. Now Rivas gets it to Warman. Now Warman skips it to Chain at the top of the key. Now to Whetstone, back to Chain. Now Chain gets it over to Rivas. Now Rivas at half court, gonna drive, gets it to Warman. Warman gets it tipped away. But it's gonna go back to the Wildcats. As Rivas gonna inbound from the sideline. A Wildcat has to come get the ball. Oh, never mind, they're running a play, sorry. And a three-pointer up, no good for Whetstone. As Baker gonna check in the ball game for Hunter. And Crotch gonna check in the ball game for DeWald. And now Van Zee gonna walk it up the floor. He gets it across half court. He skips it to Overton. Now Overton over to Van Zee, inside to Cummings. His mid-range pull-up, no good. And it's going to be a foul here on Chain. It's going to be his first, 4th-team foul on the Wildcats here in the second quarter with 3:51 left. Cummings going to inbound from the baseline. He gets it into Van Zee, now over to Krotz. Now Krotz inside to Parsons, now to Overton. His mid-range pull-up, no good. Rebounded by Whetstone, now to Chain. Now to Rivas, and now Rivas going to get it across half court for the Wildcats. Gets it to Warman, back to Rivas. Now Rivas crosses over, gets doubled, gets it to Warman. Tries to go inside to Chain, gets it back out to Rivas. Now Rivas, little floater, short. Rebounded by Whetstone, back out to Warman. Now Warman doubled, gets it to Rivas. But there's going to be a timeout before the pass by Clark. Going to take this one with him. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. The Wildcats have the ball coming out of the timeout. He's going to get it into Whetstone. Now Rivas over to Baker, now to Warman. Now Warman going to fall down. Cummings ends up with it, and he gets it to Van Zee. And it's going to be a charge here on Cummings. It's going to be his first foul of the ball game. Now 3:02 left in the first half. Ball game still tied up 14-14. As Baker gets it into Rivas, and now Rivas gets it across half court. Hands off to Chain. Now inside to Whetstone, out to Rivas. Now in the corner to Whetstone. His three's up. No good. Tipped around. Collins. Layup. No good. Rebounded by Persons. Now to Overton. Now to Van Zee. Now Van Zee drives inside. Layup. No good, but he's going to get fouled on the way up. Going to be on Rivas. That's his first. Now Van Zee at the free throw line. Takes a couple dribbles, and that one's up and in. As number 5, Orton comes in the ball game for the Bearcats. Second free throw, no good. Baker with the rebound, gets it to Chain, now to Rivas. Now Rivas gets it across half court for the Wildcats, gets it to Chain, back to Rivas. Now Rivas gets it to Whetstone, back to Rivas. Over to Chain. Now Chain to Whetstone. Up to Rivas. And now Whetstone mid-range pull up. No good, but there's going to be a foul here on Collins. So Overton going to go to the other side and shoot some free throws. With 2:08 left here in the first half. First one up, no good. Now Overton gets it for his second free throw, takes a couple dribbles. And that free throw's up and in. Second free throw up and in as well. Not sure what they called. I guess they called a lane violation on the Wildcats. But Overton makes the last two. As Baker to Chain to Baker in the corner. Now Whetstone to Rivas to Baker. Now tries to get it to Whetstone, stolen away. Now Krotz to Overton. Overton to Persons, out to Van Zee. To Krotz, stolen away by Chain. As his layup up and no good, but rebounded by Whetstone, up and in for Whetstone. Makes it a 1-point ball game, 17-16 with 1:24 left. Now Van Zee to Orton. Now Orton over to Overton. Overton overthrows him. It's going to be another turnover for the Bearcats, so it'll go back to the Wildcats. As Cummings going to check in the ball game for Orton. Now Baker going to inbound to Rivas. Now Rivas going to bring it up the floor for the Wildcats. He gets it across half court. He gets it to Collins. Now to Whetstone in the corner, back up to Rivas. Now over to Chain. Back to Rivas. Now Rivas from the logo. Pass tipped. And tipped again, but it's Whetstone into Collins. His pull up, no good. Short. So it's going to go back to Mooreland with 42 seconds left as Van Zee gets it across half court. He crosses over, gets it to Overton. Now to Krotz. Now Krotz gonna walk. So it's gonna go back to the Wildcats with 31.3 seconds left. Baker into Rivas. Now Rivas gonna walk it across half court for the Wildcats. Tries to get it to Chain, stolen away by Van Zee. His layup, no good. Rebounded his own layup, blocked from behind by Whetstone. Now Whetstone to Rivas, 10 seconds left here in the first half. Gets it to Chain, now to Whetstone, now to Rivas. Now Rivas drives into Baker. Layup up and in for Baker on the other side. So the Wildcats get the lead going into halftime, 18-17. Going to take a short break at halftime. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. As to start the second half, the Wildcats will have the ball. As Chain going to inbound from the sideline. Gets it into Rivas, and now Rivas gets it to Whetstone, back to Rivas, and now Rivas drives all the way in. Layup up and no good, but gets fouled on the way up, so he's going to go to the free throw line for two. That was a good, strong take by Rivas, just couldn't finish the layup. Now Rivas takes the dribble. His free throw is up and no good. Now Rivas gets it back for his second one. That one's up and no good as well. Cummings with the rebound, gets it to Van Zee. Now Van Zee to Overton, inside to Cummings, out to Overton, tipped away by Chain. Bearcats need to get it in, get it to Overton. Now Cummings to Van Zee, and now Van Zee out to Cummings. Now Cummings drives in, skips across to Krotz in the corner. His three's up and in. Makes the score 18-20. Mooreland takes the lead once again. As Rivas to Chain, now back to Rivas. Now Rivas gets it to Chain. Now Chain to Baker, now to Whetstone, back to Baker, now to Whetstone. Or not Whetstone, sorry, Chain. Chain skips it across to Whetstone, now to Baker, now to Chain. Over to Rivas. His three's up. No good, strong off the back of the rim. Rebound by Chain. A layup no good, but he gets fouled on the way up by Persons. That's going to be his second foul of the ball game. And Chain will go to the free throw line for two. As Chain gets it for his first free throw, takes the dribble, it's up and in. .648 left here in the third, 1 point ball game. Second free throw up and in, and that'll tie it 20-20. As Van Zee skips it up to Cummings. Now Persons blocked by Whetstone. But Whetstone going to get called for the foul. That's going to be his first foul. And Persons will be at the free throw line for two. Takes a couple dribbles. His first one's up and in. He gets it back for his second one. Takes a couple dribbles and it's up and rattled in. Now Collins into Rivas, and now Rivas gets it to Whetstone. Now back to Rivas, inside to Baker, now to Whetstone. Three-pointer too long. Now Cummings headed the other way. Now Van Zee slows it down and gets it to Overton. Now Overton drives inside out to Krotz. His three's up, no good. Tipped. And now Cummings gets the rebound. Now to Van Zee. Now Van Zee, bottom of the logo, gets it over to Overton. Now Overton inside, two Persons, back to Overton. It's going to be out of bounds off of the Wildcats. And it's going to go back to Mooreland. Shook going to check in the ball game for Whetstone. Krotz going to inbound from the baseline. He skips it up to Overton. Now back to Van Zee. Now Van Zee skips it all the way across to Krotz. Now Krotz to Cummings in the corner. Now inside to Persons. Tries to skip it across. Almost stolen away, but Persons gets fouled on the way up. We'll see who it's on. It's going to be on Chain. That's going to be his second foul of the ball game. Now Persons for his first free throws up. No good off the front of the rim. Now Rivas gets it to Chain, and Chain over to Shook. Now Shook gets it to Baker, now to Rivas. His three's up. No good, short. Rebounded by Rivas. As he's going to go up, gets fouled on the way up by Persons. So Persons picks up his third foul of the ball game. And Rivas is at the free throw line for 2. His first one is up and in, nothing but net. Gets it back for his second free throw. And that one's up. No good. Strong off the back of the rim. Baker with the rebound. Gets it out to Chain. Now Chain inside. Back out to Shook. His three's up. No good. Strong. Persons with the rebound. Gets it to Overton. Overton over to Van Zee. Now in the corner to Cummings. Now Persons. Layup. No good. Rebounded by Shook. Now Shook drives inside, back out to Rivas. Thought about the three, he drives in. Layup up and in for Rivas. Good drive and finish by Rivas to take the lead at 23-22 with 4:54 left here in the third. Cummings drives inside, layup up and in. Now Collins into Rivas. Now Rivas going to get it across half court over to Chain, back to Rivas. Now Rivas to Collins, to Shook, up to Collins, over to Chain, now to Rivas. Now Rivas drives in, back out to Chain, as he's going to drive in, gets it out to Shook. Now Shook skips it across to Rivas, tipped away, but it ends up with Rivas after Chain tipped it back out to him. Now Rivas top of the key, over to Collins, now to Shook. Up to Collins, now to Chain. Back to Collins, over to Shook. And stolen away by Overton. Now Van Zee inside to Parsons. Layup up and in for Parsons. Now Collins into Rivas. Now Rivas gets it across half court. As Persons has to come off the floor. 5 or 10 will check in the ball game for him. Now Rivas gonna inbound it. He gets it into Shook, and now Shook to Chain. Back up to Shook, over to Rivas. Now Rivas to Shook. Now Shook drives into Baker, now to Chain. Now Chain in the corner, up top to Hunter, now to Rivas. Now Rivas over to Chain, his three's up. And in for the Combs Feed and Seed 3-ball, ties it up at 26. Now Orton is going to inbound from the baseline after the foul. Now Overton in the corner, now to Van Zee. His three's up, no good, short off the front of the rim. Overton throws it away to Chain. Now Chain, layup, up and in on the other end. Good job by Chain to get the steal and finish. Now 2:50 left here in the third, and the Wildcats got a 2-point lead, 28-26. Stolen away again by Chain, and Chain's headed the other way once again. Layup no good that time. And they're going to get a foul here by Shook. And that's his 4th foul. And now Whetstone going to check in the ball game for Shook. As DeWall inbounds to Van Zee, and now Van Zee gets it across half court. He gets it to Krotz. Now Krotz in the corner to DeWall. Now Cummings. Mid-range, no good. Tipped around. And there's going to be a jump ball, and that's going to stay with Mooreland. So they will inbound from the baseline. Now Mooreland gets it up to Krotz at the top of the key. Three-pointer short. Rivas with the rebound. Now Rivas going to slow it down. And he's going to walk it across half court. Hands it off to Whetstone. Now to Rivas. Back to Whetstone. Over to Chain. Back to Rivas. Now Rivas drives inside out to Whetstone. Thought about the three. He's going to drive in. He's going to skip it all the way across to Chain. Now Chain, step back threes up. No good. Long. And going to be rebounded by Whetstone, but he's going to walk. So it's going to go back to Mooreland with 1:40 left here in the third. Now Krotz in the corner tries to get it inside to Parsons. They're going to call a foul on Hunter. It's going to be his second foul. It'll be the fifth team foul, so Parsons going to go to the free throw line for two. First one up. And no good. But Warman going to check in the ball game for Chain. Second one no good, and Baker gets it to Rivas, and now Rivas going to bring it across half court for the Wildcats. Gets it to Whetstone, back to Rivas. Over to Whetstone, his three's up. No good, long. And DeWald ends up with it, gets it to Van Zee. Now Van Zee going to bring it up the floor. Gets it to Krotz, back to Van Zee, now to Krotz. Inside to Parsons. Layup no good, tipped around, out of bounds off the Bearcats, so it's going to go back to the Wildcats as Baker are going to check back in the ball game. Does so for Rivas. And now Baker into Chain. Now Chain going to bring it up the floor for the Wildcats as he gets it across half court. He gets it to Whetstone, back to Chain, over to Warman, back to Chain, over to Whetstone, back to Chain, over to Warman, back to Chain, back to Warman. Skips it across to Whetstone, his three's up. And in as he makes the Combs feed and seed three ball, and the Wildcats got their biggest lead of the night with 5, with 30 seconds left here in the third. That's Krotz to Van Zee, back to DeWall, now to Krotz in the corner. Now Krotz picks his dribble up, gets it to Parsons down low as he's doing some post moves. Layup no good again. And now Hunter to Chain. Now Chain to Whetstone, back to Chain. Now Chain drives all the way in. Little floater off the glass, no good. Tipped around, Parsons gets the rebound, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter. The Wildcats got a 31-26 lead going into the fourth. Going to take a short break. We'll be right back with you. Coming in the fourth quarter, Wildcats will get the ball. Chain going to inbound from the sideline, gets it into Rivas. Now Rivas walks it across half court for the Wildcats. Gets it to Whetstone. Now Whetstone back to Rivas. Now Rivas back to Whetstone, now to Rivas. Back to Whetstone, back to Rivas. Picks a dribble up, hits Chain on the cut, layup up and in for Chain. Good finish down low by Chain. Increases the lead to 7. As Crot's going to get it across half court for Mooreland. Gets it in the corner to DeWald. And they're going to call a foul on Whetstone. That'll be his second foul of the ball game. First team foul on the Wildcats here in the fourth with 7:21 left. DeWald into Van Zee. Over to Crotts. Now inside to DeWald, over to Cummings. Now Cummings to Crotts. Now Crotts drives in, out to Cummings. His three's up, no good. Rebounded by Overton. Layup, no good, but he's going to get fouled on the way up. They're going to get Whetstone again. That'll be his third foul of the ball game. Second team foul on the Wildcats here in the fourth. Overton's first free throw up and in. Second free throw, no good off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Baker, now to Rivas. And Rivas gets it across half court, bottom of the logo. Hands it off to Whetstone, back to Rivas. Now Rivas drives in. Layup, no good. And it's going to be out of bounds off the Wildcats, so it's going to go back to Mooreland. With 7:02 left here in the fourth. Now Crot's going to get it across half court for Mooreland. And gets it to Cummings, now out to DeWald. His three's up, no good. Rebounded by Whetstone, now to Chain, now to Rivas. Now Rivas gets it across half court. Gets it to Whetstone, back to Rivas. Now Rivas to Chain, now Chain. Gets it over to Whetstone, back up to Chain, now over to Rivas. Now Rivas drives in. Floater blocked by Cummings. And a foul here on Rivas. Be the third team foul on the Wildcats here in the fourth with 6:22 left. It's Rivas' second foul of the ball game. As Crot's going to bring it up the court for Mooreland. Gets it across half court. Hits Cummings inside, now down to Overton. Layup up and in for Overton. Now Whetstone into Rivas. Now Rivas going to bring it up the floor for the Wildcats. As he gets it across half court, gets it to Whetstone, back to Rivas. Now Rivas drives left side, picks his dribble up, gets it to Chain. Now Chain back to Rivas. Now Rivas. Top of the key, and they're going to call a double dribble. So it'll go back to Mooreland. 4-point lead for the Wildcats, 33-29. Timeout here by the Wildcats. Going to take this one with them. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. As Van Z going to inbound to Orton. Now Orton going to bring it up the floor for Mooreland. Gets it across half court. Now to Van Z, now to Cummings. Now to Overton down low. Layup up and in for Overton. As Baker into Rivas. Now Rivas gets it across half court. Gets it to Whetstone. Now to Chain. And now Chain drives inside. Going to get fouled on the way up. So he's going to get 2 free throws here with 5:15 left in the fourth. Now fouls on 22, DeWald. That'll be his first. Free throw up and no good for Chain. Shook going to check in the ball game for Hunter. Now Chain gets it back for his second free throw, and that one's up and in. Makes it a 3-point ball game with 5:15 left in the fourth. As Orton in the corner to DeWald. And they're going to call a foul here on Whetstone. That'll be the 14th foul on the Wildcats with 5:07 left. And that foul will be on Kelson Shook. So Shook, his 5th foul. So he will foul out of the ball game. And Warman will check in the ball game for him. Free throw up and no good. And now Collins will check in the ball game for Whetstone. Second free throw up. And no good as well. And Chain will get the rebound, gets it to Rivas. Now Rivas going to walk it across the court. He gets it to Warman. Now Warman to Chain. Now Chain drives all the way around. It's going to be a foul on the floor. Be on number 1, Cummings. Now Rivas going to inbound from the baseline as he gets it into Collins. Now Collins out to Rivas. Now Rivas gets it to Chain, bottom of the logo, with 4:35 left in the fourth. Now Chain drives in, back out to Rivas. Now Rivas drives all the way in. Layup no good, but he's going to go to the free throw line for 2. Beyond 30, I believe is what number he held up. And that'll be Overton. First free throw up and no good for Rivas. Gets it back for his second free throw, and that one's up. No good. Strong off the back of the rim. Now Overton gets the rebound, gets it to Van Z. Now Van Z in the corner to Orton. Now Overton, layup no good. Gets his own rebound. And it's a 1-point game. Wildcats up 34-33 with 4:06 left in the game. Now Rivas to Warman. Now Warman to Chain. Now Chain going to drive all the way in. Going to lose it on the way. Be another timeout by the Wildcats. Going to take this one with them. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. As the Bearcats get it in, it'll be Stotts now to Parsons inside. Overton with the get in. Two Wildcats fight for the rebound. It'll go out of bounds, so it'll stay with the Bearcats. As 22 DeWald will check in the ball game. Now Van Zee to Overton. Now over to Stotts. Now to DeWald in the corner. His three's up and in. And now Collins into Rivas. And now Rivas going to bring it up the floor for the Wildcats. He gets it across half court. Gets it to Chain. Now to Collins. Throws it back. Stolen away by Overton. Layup up and in for Overton. Now Rivas going to bring it up the floor for the Wildcats. Gets it to Warman, back to Rivas. Now Rivas crosses over, gets it to Warman, now to Chain. Now Chain drives inside, layup up and in. Count it, and one for Chain, as he's going to go to the free throw line for one. Free throw up and in for Chain. .250 left here in the fourth. Wildcats down one, 38-37. Now Van Zee left side. Gets it to DeWald. Back to Van Zee. Now Van Zee drives. Euro steps. Gets it to Overton. Fouled on the way up by Baker. Will be his third. Now Overton will shoot 2 free throws. First free throw up and in. Second free throw is up and short. And Chain will get the rebound, gets it to Rivas, and now Rivas going to bring it up the floor for the Wildcats as he gets it across half court, gets it to Warman. Now Warman to Chain. Now Chain, bottom of the logo. Gets it back to Warman. Now Warman crosses over, gets it to Rivas. Now Rivas to Whetstone. Now to Warman. Now up top to Chain. Now Chain, top of the key. He drives in. Layup up and in for Chain. He will tie the ball game up 39-39, and he's got 19 on the night. Now Van Zee, bottom of the logo. Skips it across to DeWald, now to Parsons. Now Overton inside. Layup no good, rebounded by Rivas. Now Rivas headed the other way with 1:33 left. Ball game tied up 39-39. As Rivas drives all the way in. Layup up and in for Rivas. And the Wildcats take the lead 41-39 with 1:20 left here in the fourth. As Stotts gets it across half court. He drives right side, gets it to Parsons. Or Person, sorry. Now to DeWald, now to Stotts in the corner. His three's up and in. Timeout by Mooreland. 1:02 left here in the ball game. Gonna take a timeout. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. Wildcat ball, 1:02 left in the fourth. Wildcats down 42-41 as Baker gets it into Rivas, and now Rivas gonna bring it up the floor for the Wildcats as he gets it across half court. He gets it to Whetstone, back to Rivas, now to Warman. Back to Rivas. Tipped away, and now Whetstone got it back, crosses over, throws it to Rivas. Now to Warman, back to Rivas, now to Chain, up to Warman, now to Rivas, 25 seconds left. Now Rivas throws it away again. It'll be tipped out of bounds by the Wildcats. So 20 seconds left. Wildcats down 42-41. Another timeout. Going to take this one with them. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. Wildcats down 42-41 with 20 seconds left in the ball game. As Overton going to inbound. Has nowhere to go with it. Going to be a timeout here by Mooreland. I'm going to take this one with him. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. 20.6 seconds left. Wildcats down 42-41. Overton going to inbound for the Bearcats. Now Mooreland will inbound from the sideline as the ref thought Mooreland calling a timeout. There's going to be a foul here by Baker on Parsons, so he's going to go to the free throw line for two. 12 seconds left. Gets it for his first free throw. First one's up and in. Gets it for his second free throw. And that one's up and no good. Chain with the rebound. He gets it across half court fast. He drives inside, layup up and in for Chain. And now half-court heave for Mooreland. No good. And that's going to be the end of regulation. Tie ball game 43-43. So we'll go into overtime. Going to take a short break here. We'll be right back with you. Whetstone going to jump for the Wildcats to start overtime. Cummings going to start for Mooreland. Or jump for Mooreland, sorry. Tip won by the Wildcats, and now Chain gets it across half court. He gets it to Rivas. Now Rivas, bottom of the logo. Gets it to Whetstone, back to Rivas. Over to Chain. His three's up. No good. Long. Overton with the rebound. Gets it to Van Zee, and now Van Zee going to get it across half court. He gets it to Stotts, now to DeWald in the corner. Ball tipped. Stolen away by Whetstone. Now Whetstone going to get fouled by Mooreland. And now Whetstone with 2 free throws, as that was the 5th foul. First free throw up and no good for Whetstone, as number 5, Orton, and number 33, Persons, checks in the ball game. Second free throw up and in for... Nope, second one no good. They're going to call a free throw violation. Now Orton into Krotz. Now Krotz going to bring it up the floor for Mooreland. He gets it across half court. He crosses over, pulls it back out. Stolen away by the Wildcats, and now Rivas going all the way. Layup no good. Fouled on the way up by Krotz. So Rivas going to go to the free throw line for 2. With 2:55 left here in overtime. Rivas first free throw up and no good. Gets it back for his second free throw. Takes the dribble, and that one's up. No good off the front of the rim. Now Van Zee going to bring it up the floor for Mooreland as he gets it across half court. He gets it to Krotz. Now Krotz skips it all the way across to Van Zee. Now Van Zee back up to Krotz. Now back to Van Zee. Now Van Zee drives all the way in. Gets it to Persons, back to Van Zee. Now Van Zee gonna walk. It's gonna go back to the Wildcats. As Baker going to inbound from the baseline, gets it into Rivas. 2:20 left here in overtime as Rivas gets it to Whetstone. Now to Chain. Back to Rivas. Back to Chain. Over to Rivas. Tries to go down low to Baker. Now Baker tries to go to Warman. Going to be bounced out of bounds. It's going to go back to Mooreland with 2:05 left. Now Van Zee going to walk it up the court for the Bearcats. As he gets it across half court, gets it to Persons. Now Persons throws it away to Whetstone. Whetstone layup up and in. Puts the Wildcats up to 45-43 with 1:45 left in overtime. As Orton tries to get it to Krotz, thrown away, so it's going to go back to the Wildcats as 22 DeWald comes in the game for Orton. And Baker going to inbound from the sideline into Rivas. Now Rivas going to bring it up the floor for the Wildcats. As he gets it to Whetstone, back to Rivas. Now Whetstone gets it back to Rivas. Now Rivas over to Chain. Now Chain crosses over back to Rivas. Inside to Baker, now out to Whetstone. His deep three's up, no good. Rebounded by Krotz. Picks his dribble up, gets it to Overton. Now Overton to Van Zee, layup up and no good. Warman with the rebound, gets it to Rivas, back to Whetstone, back to Rivas. Now to Whetstone, inside to Baker. Now Chain. 3 seconds in the lane on the Wildcats. It's going to go back to Mooreland with 50 seconds left. Wildcats up 2. Now Van Zee gets it across half court. He hits DeWald in the corner. Now DeWald gets it to Van Zee. Now Van Zee to Krotz in the corner. To Parsons. Now Parsons to DeWald, now to Van Zee. Now Van Zee to Krotz in the corner. His three's up and in. Chain gets it into Rivas. Now Rivas brings it right down the middle of the court. Baker, layup, no good. Tipped around. Rivas with it. Goes up, but he's fouled on the way up. So Rivas going to go to the free throw line for 2. He gets it for his first free throw. It's up and no good. Timeout, Wildcats. Going to take this one with them. I'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. Wildcats down 1 with 10 seconds left in overtime. 1 free throw remains for Rivas. As he gets it for his second free throw. Takes a dribble and it's up. No good. Rebounded by DeWald, and now Van Zee going to get fouled by Rivas. Be his third, and Van Zee will go to the free throw line for 2. Van Zee gets it for his first free throw. It's up and in. As Baker checks in the ball game for Hunter. Second free throw. Up, and it's good. Going to be a timeout here by the Wildcats. Going to take this one with them. We'll be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome back to Wildcat TV. Baker to inbound. Going to get it into Rivas. Now Rivas. His three is blocked. And that's going to be the end of the ball game. Mooreland comes out on top, 48-45. And the Wildcats will start 0-3 this year, as they've lost to Mooreland twice and to Okarche. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and I will see you next week.